Call me Bread. Yeah, people ask me if I'm ever gonna collab with Bread. Not against it. Oh shit. I mean, Bread was playing Forsaken Frontiers too, you know? That's what I'm saying. People miss the Bread collab. Didn't you guys watch my Forsaken Frontiers beginner guide? Bread was in it. I healed that guy with the med kit. We're cool like that now. Oh shit. If I ever did a Bread collab, I probably wouldn't want to play Lethal Company with him, even though that's probably what the community wants. If anything, like, I would want to play Hired to Die with him, because that's a game that he was pushing and wanted to play more of. I think it comes out this month also. I think that would be a more interesting collab, at least for us too, you know. I'd like to collaborate with these people outside of Lethal Company and kind of see who will stick around when it's not Lethal Company. Like, who's here for Lethal Company and who's here for the person behind the game. Clearly, it's not too many people that are here for not Lethal Company, which is fine. Jeff becoming a DBD content creator now. Honestly, I would love being a Dead by Daylight content creator more than being a Lethal Company one at this point. I have more hours in this game for a reason. I can play this game for a lot longer. Part of it has to do with the gameplay loop being a lot shorter too. It's kind of getting harder to find Lethal Company angles that I enjoy that are real short. I have uploaded a Dead by Daylight video every day for like a month now, so I'm probably gonna have to change up the strategy, but that's kind of like where the killer streams come into play too. But I'm also not putting too much stock into growing as a Dead by Daylight content creator right now, because Forsaken Frontiers is right around the corner, and if Forsaken Frontiers does well, I'd like to be at the forefront of that content-wise. Dead by Daylight, I kind of have to do the longer grind that you normally have to do when starting off as a content creator. Lethal Company was kind of a cheat code. You kind of just get a lot of following for playing a video game without much effort. Like, I've never once said that it was hard to grow, like, to do what I did. It was just more of a timing thing. I think what Bread and Alter Ego do is much harder than what I do. Oh shit. Thought between both Lethal and DBD. I mean, that's the plan. I was supposed to play Lethal Company today. I really don't think the most of the Lethal Company community gives a shit about Dead by Daylight. If I really wanted to get viewers, I would start the stream with Lethal Company and then switch. But now that Nico is back in America, it's kind of hard to want to play solo Lethal Company when I can just play Killer instead. At the same time, I'm also getting shit on as currently as Billy, so I couldn't really tell you what's better. Duo Survivor with Nico? I could. But Nico's also part of the late night crew. Finally got her. There are a few people, you know, who were kind of Lethal Company exclusive here that are starting to get into Dead by Daylight also, and I like that. You know, also Big Weave's been streaming his Killer side of things. You know, it's funny because there is an overlap between people who enjoy Dead by Daylight and people who speedrun Lethal Company, but there isn't much of an overlap between people who watch Lethal Company and people who enjoy Dead by Daylight. It's just the content creators that like it. And then look at Jimmy the Duff, you know? He was an OG Dead by Daylight guy before he was a Lethal Company guy. And him dropping Lethal Company for Dead by Daylight is kind of just him going back to his roots. So if you are a Lethal Company content creator, go try out Dead by Daylight. You might actually like it. But don't worry, there's going to be a lot of duo content with Nico as well. I mean, at this time, it's kind of more productive for us to duo Lethal Company for our high quota runs, especially since we have quite a... Oh, there's no way you get hit by this, right? And then when Forsaken Frontiers comes out, we're gonna duo that game a whole bunch for sure. You got live. Because we could always just play Survivor together in our late night crew. I'd stream it if I was still doing streams. I actually think streaming's overrated. I think people should focus more on like oh, thank you, Tinkerers. Streaming's cool if you just want like some VODs of your gameplay. That's actually why I started streaming. When I started streaming, it wasn't so I could grow as a content creator or anything. It was just so I can have VODs, and if I did anything cool, then I'd be able to document it. And I wouldn't have to use, like, you know, computer storage space for it either. I could just save everything on Twitch as a highlight. The way I grew a Lethal Company following, it was the cheat code. I was in good, it was positioned right. But the more realistic pace of growth is watching how my Dead by Daylight stuff grows, which isn't very fast. You know, I have daily uploads on YouTube for a whole month straight and not really too much movement. That said, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to upload and learn from your uploads and see how you can make better stuff, but I don't do that with Dead by Daylight. I just kind of upload clips for our friends to watch. The hard part of getting started with content too is like trying not to let numbers affect you, because it can get discouraging if you're like putting in a lot of effort into something and then people don't really acknowledge it. The thing is though, people aren't obligated to acknowledge your work. The amount of effort should only matter to the person making the content, but it's not, viewers aren't obligated to respect that or acknowledge it themselves. So I'm thinking about Forsaken Frontiers coming out, right? And other games in the category. We can throw Lethal Company, Phasmophobia, and We Who Are About to Die all into like a similar category, solo dev. And in hindsight, or after the fact, it's cool seeing that a game like those games, like games as successful as those, were produced by one person. But I wasn't drawn to those games because, you know, of the effort put in by one person. I was drawn to those games because I was interested in their product and their games, and I only learned after the fact, and it kind of added some flavor to the thing that I was drawn to. I didn't play Lethal Company because there was someone young, a solo dev, behind it. I'm not pushing Forsaken Frontiers because I befriended the devs after the fact, and because they're a small, like, you know, indie game dev company. Like, those are good sentiments, but I'm not here because of that. I'm here because Forsaken Frontiers is a good game. I stuck with Lethal Company because I enjoyed playing Lethal Company. Phasmophobia, like proximity horror, there wasn't much of that before Phasmophobia, I'm pretty sure. I didn't play Phasmophobia because it was a solo dev. Same thing for content creators, right? I consume people's content because I like what I'm seeing, not because the backstory that it took for people to make it. I think it's cool when someone has a cool like story behind it, but the only reason people will care about your personal story is after you have some results, which isn't entirely true. There'll be like handfuls of people where you know, they actually care about people like that. But when we're talking like numbers and stuff, it's, oh shit, that's unfortunate. Even if we just talk about my numbers, we have 10 people who care about my Dead by Daylight stuff enough to watch it versus the 2,000 that follow me on Twitch, 20,000 on YouTube. Even now, I don't really put too much stock into streaming. Streaming is more just kind of like a way for me to do my content thing while also hanging out with the people who show up. But the real grind is still YouTube at the end of the day. I actually think people should stream, like, if like gaming content creation is something that you want to do professionally or like grow a following for, people should stream less and record more. And less TikToks and shorts and more long form. I mean, you'll probably gain a bigger following through shorts. That's just kind of proven. But the reason why I recommend doing long form is because when you edit long form, you kind of have to take a good look at yourself and how you're presenting yourself gameplay wise and as a content creator. And that's why it's hard to do long form sometimes, because you have to actually face yourself as you are in long form. But I think it's kind of funny that like seeing yourself in long form is hard to do, but you can also stream for 4 plus 8 plus hours. Because that's what a stream is. It's long form content. It's just live versus curated. But just think about it. If you don't like your own curated long form content, then why are people obligated to like your streams, you know? Mostly because you're a fun person to watch rather than the game. Yeah, and I appreciate you being here, Jupiter. And those are the people that I actually want to keep around. If you grew a channel, quote unquote, properly, that should be the outcome. People are staying because they like who you are, not because of what game you're playing or what content you're making. That's like the ideal content creator role, right? So that's kind of like the journey that I'm on right now. I'm trying to build a following of people who will watch regardless of what I put out. I am actively fighting against the Lethal Company community by doing this. I've considered starting a second channel where I might be able to like build up a different algorithm, but at the same time, I don't want to give up on it right away. Because I want to see if it's possible to even like overcome a one-trick YouTube channel with variety. I know it's been possible in the past. I've talked about Smitty's channel a long time before, if anyone's a follower of Smitty, who is currently a variety gamer. Kind of like, you know, most people... Okay, why am I tunneling this person? Most people's, like, if they have a friend group and make videos showcasing their friends is, like, the ideal content creation angle. Just playing a bunch of silly games and being silly with friends. But even he didn't start as a variety silly streamer. He started as a primarily Counter-Strike and Battlefield content creator and then pivoted. But he also pivoted at a time when the YouTube algorithm worked a little bit differently. There's probably a reason why people have different channels for different things. Like even most content creators, they'll have a main channel, they'll have a VOD channel, they'll have a shorts channel. But I also think managing multiple channels isn't something you do when you're first starting. I think you just try to master and figure out one and then go from there. If you try to do too much at once, it'll become overwhelming. Like I've seen streamers who try to make YouTube shorts and TikToks and then post on 6 platforms, and then they'll get burnt out before they get any sort of traction, and they'll just be satisfied with their Instagram views because all their friends and family follow on Instagram and will like and engage with whatever they do, but never gain any new followings. Just like chatting with you and grinding for VIP. Hey, Guy, you're one of the real ones also. But yeah, you know, comment Chef Austin things, but stick to the script. Just play Lethal Company. Back to streaming being like shouldn't be a priority. I'm kind of throwing by streaming, low key. There's like a lot of curated YouTube content that I should be making for my channel growth, but I just want to like play a video game, you know? So I totally understand the sentiment of keeping video games casual, because that's what it should start off as, right? Like, why are you trying to become a gaming content creator if you don't even enjoy it as a hobby in the first place? But I do enjoy it as a hobby. Not only just the gaming part, but also like the making gaming videos part. I've been making gaming videos for over 10 years on like a casual level. Started with Call of Duty Black Ops, back when they introduced theater mode. Oh shit. Do I upload my VODs? Yes and no. So my current YouTube formula is I play Lethal Company on stream, and I just upload the whole run, like the whole segment to YouTube. So in a way, yes, it's just kind of in pieces. I am highlighting all of my VODs though, in case I ever want to start a VOD channel. It seems like pretty low effort to get one started. Ever since I started streaming like Lethal Company, I've saved every single VOD. So maybe at some point I'll probably like make a VOD channel. But I feel like if I made a VOD channel, it would incentivize less people to watch my main channel too. The only way I'm gonna know for sure is if I actually pull the trigger. Honestly though, for people who stream but also don't want to learn how to edit or something, I think just uploading your raw I heard her in the locker. Even just uploading raw VODs to YouTube is good. The reason why YouTube's good over streams is because people can watch you on their own time. Streaming's hard because they have to catch you while you're live. YouTube good because people watch you when they have the time to, and at their own convenience. They can pause, they can fast forward, all that. And if they like you enough, maybe they'll pop into a stream. That's actually how you grow a stream. You build somewhere else. But damn, the idea of of just uploading a full VOD and monetizing that also is also kind of nice. One of the reasons why I'm not in a rush also is because like even though streaming is not a crazy priority for me, I think it would still be nice if I could grow a streaming presence here. So I tell people that if they want to watch my VOD, they can come to my Twitch channel. Like, it's here. Otherwise, they can just kind of wait until I decide to make a VOD channel or until I curate it for YouTube at some point. My VODs are out there. You just have to come to my Twitch channel. And if I funnel you to my Twitch channel, you're more likely to follow here and maybe tune in live sometime. And I'm hoping that the people who watch VODs will want to, you know, actually will stick around regardless of what I watch. And this is gonna be the place where you find out what else I'm playing before it makes it to YouTube. Yeah, fewer people open Twitch, browse for people they've never watched before. It's just not a thing. Organic growth on Twitch is not a thing. Streaming more does not mean you will grow more. In fact, I think streaming more is gonna do worse for you. Like when you're starting out, stream should be shorter, if not non-existent. When Nico, Larry, and I all played off stream, we kind of got to find out or figure out our content creator voices. Because sometimes the conversations you have with people aren't really conducive for a content angle that other people would be interested in. It's a very fun one-on-one or one-on-4, one-on-10 conversation you're having with the people who are there. But that conversation might not be interesting to people who would tune in on YouTube. Maybe this conversation would be interesting because we're talking more like back-end stuff for being a content creator rather than Dead by Daylight. Who knows, maybe I'll do something with it. If I find a way to curate it for YouTube, I will do it. When you have no audience to talk to, you kind of have to like really buckle down and find a way to be interesting yourself. Like you can't rely on the game. Well, okay, depending on the game can be interesting if you're like really good at it. But for most people, 99% of people, you're gonna have to figure out how to be interesting on your own. And sometimes it's hard for people because they realize they're not actually interesting. It is what it is. Not interesting or not calculated. But it's not like something you're doomed for. Like you're not doomed to be an uninteresting content creator. It's just something that has to be trained. It's a skill that can be learned. Speaking of skills that can be learned, you guys like that? New streaming gotta talk to so many peeps. From a stream perspective, fantastic. From a YouTube perspective, it tends to be better to like stick to one topic. And when you're not streaming, it's easier to stick to one topic. It'll be easier to like theme your video too if you stick to one. And yap to myself in a particular mood. Other times just completely empty. Yeah, and those times when I'm just completely empty, I just be gaming, you know? That's kind of what the late night Dead by Daylight session is for. I'm really not yapping the same way that I do when I'm on stream or for YouTube. Which is why I think like, from a content perspective, the compilations that I upload, they're not very interesting. The reason why bigger Dead by Daylight creators can get away with that, so like Zubat, you know, I have the same formula that Zubat does. Just like clip compilations of things that have happened. But he has built his following already, and people will, and he's built his following around Dead by Daylight. I didn't build mine around Dead by Daylight, so I have the onus is on me to make more interesting Dead by Daylight content and put effort into doing it rather than kind of doing the lazy stuff that I've been doing. Awesome looping and the other 3 yat maxing, pretty much. If it weren't for like Big Weave, Nico, and Maylene like talking while we're playing, it would probably be it'd probably be a more silent video. But part of the reason why I'm silent in those videos too is because I don't want to like talk over people too much. I'm gonna pick. Watch this. They were not expecting that. Oh, they were expecting that. They were ready. I've said it before. I think it's fine to have big YouTubers or big content creators to kind of take inspiration from. But the ones that have the real sauce that you want to kind of replicate, at least from a strategy angle, are the smaller YouTubers who are gaining traction now. You know, who are currently building a following and whose techniques are a bit more modern. Oh shit, is that harder than I think it is? Because people who are already established content creators will get views no matter what they do. But you need to see what smaller content creators are doing to get views as relative nobodies. And I've said it many times, but you know, guide content for games works, video essay stuff works. It's just that both of those take a lot more effort than just raw gameplay videos. So people don't do them, or they do one and then say they worked hard and that they give up because they were burnt out from doing one. But the odds of getting success off of one video are really, really low, and it's the exception, and it should be the exception rather than the expectation. I do have an example though of a channel whose content worked to the point where they gained their entire following off one video and a very early video, but it's the kind of effort that most people aren't really willing to put into their videos. It's a 3.5 hour video essay on the game Darkwood. I found that guy's channel when he had less than 1,000 subscribers, less than 100 even. And he had a few like Minecraft videos, I think, all with less than 50 views each. And he made this 3.5 hour Darkwood video essay, very well produced. And that video now has multiple millions of views, and his channel has more followers, subscribers than I do. When people say that they put in effort to a video to make it work, it's not that level of effort. That said, that level of effort is also part of the exception, but it's also kind of what it takes, low-key, to make a breakout, to have a breakout performance. Like honestly, if you just look up Darkwood horror game, something, you'll find it. Effort and persistence, you know, because if you just put effort into one video, you don't do content creation professionally from one video. You don't just make one video and call it a day. You have to be ready for like the longer term. What's the lore behind this emote? When I first unlocked emotes, I just made like all of my emotes in Canva, and that was when I played a lot of Valorant, and we just used to say "let's fucking go baby" all the time. All the emotes where it's just word art with my face and stuff on it, I made those all in one go in like 10-15 minutes. Just so I could have emotes in my emote slots. What was my peak in Val? I didn't get very high. Whatever the lowest in plat was or the highest in gold, but I mostly just played in 5-stack. I'd say peak wasn't even in rank, it was in like a charity tournament. I participated in like a small streamer charity tournament, and we won the whole thing. It was pretty sick. Won a Logitech Superlight from it, the wireless mouse. And that was the mouse I used until it broke on me at some point. It was funny because when I joined that streamer tournament, I was like whatever the lowest rank in bronze was, and then in preparation for that tournament in like the month or two that we had, I went up to like whatever the highest in gold is. I don't even remember how the ranks work in Valorant, to be honest. It's been that long. I can't say I was very good though, but I learned enough at least. I played Viper, Astra, and Sova. I mostly played Viper and Astra because they were the meta controllers at the time, and no one in our group really wanted to learn how to play smokes. But you know, like we could play however we want, but I'm gonna make sure that our smokes are good when we play. And then the only time I played Sova is when we had like someone else playing controller, or if we thought it was better for our team comp. That like streamer tournament was the hardest I've ever tried in Valorant. And the guy who was our IGL, played melee with him. He's currently a Valorant coach too. We like made a pretty good duo together, and we brought our team up to a very competent level for the tournament also. We kind of got some flack for like how good our team was, low-key, but we were also like diligently practicing and like coming up with strategies and everything. We like treated the tournament earnestly, and it was, the results showed, you know. I only liked it because I played with friends and stuff, and then friends kind of drifted and stuff. Goals didn't align as much, so I stopped playing Valorant. I know I do like a lot of solo stuff now, but I'm very much a multiplayer driven gamer for the most part. That's why I don't play a lot of single player games. Like the single player games that I played last night or whenever it was 2 nights ago, kind of out of my depth. I probably wouldn't do it if I wasn't trying to, you know, do the streamer YouTuber thing. But damn, Valorant is not a game that I would solo queue. I didn't even like duo queuing or anything. It was full stack or bust. I didn't like playing with randoms. Dead by Daylight, I don't mind playing with randoms because I don't got to talk to them. There might be an endgame chat, but you can disable endgame chat or you can just leave before anyone says anything. It's also limited to text chat. Little different when you stream though, and when you add TTV in your name. You used to get some toxic people come in if I had TTV, regardless if I won or lost. People would come in if they shit on me and would shit on me further in chat. Or if I won, somehow I was playing toxic. That's probably one of the downsides of Dead by Daylight, honestly. Some people take the game a little too seriously, spreading that toxicity to others. I don't really like partaking in all that. Yeah, not really a big fan of toxicity in gaming, but you know, it's part of it. Part of the multiplayer experience. That's one of the upsides of playing single player games. You don't have to deal with like other people until you start looking into people's opinions on games. You know, no matter what game you have, there's going to be like a group of people who don't have nice things to say about the game you enjoy. And you can either just choose to... Oh well. Nice. Good job. 10 out of 10 yap session. You know, as it should be.